Everybody has a good side.
There you go. That's a good way to start. All righty. Welcome to the regular council meeting of Tuesday, June 2nd. We will start with a moment of silence. Number 2 on our agenda is approval of the agenda. If there's a motion to do so. Councilor McKinnon moves and is seconded by
So I'll switch around a little bit.
Councilor Nickerson. I know it's better than the last meeting. All righty. Thank you. Ooh, just made my thing too small. I'm having trouble here. All righty. Number 3, are there any declarations of conflict of interest?
Oh, yeah, vote on the approval.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. See, I'm going to speed right through. Thank you, Councilor Altaco. We have a vote then on approval of our agenda. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So voted. Thank you. Now, moving on to the declarations of conflict of interest. Seeing none, we'll move along. Number 4, approval of minutes. We have the regular council minutes of April 28th. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as written?
So
Moved by Councilor Nickerson. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Altaco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. 5, report of the warden. I really don't have a report. I suppose it would be what I would just normally, I'll do mine. Okay. All right. That I do have. All right. So for May, what? No, because I've read the wrong one before too. Age-related difficulties. This is May. So starting though on April 29th through May 1, I attended the NSFM Spring Conference in Yarmouth. The conference was highly informative, dealing with substantial issues facing rural municipalities in the province. On May 11th, I and my council colleagues met with Dr. Yee to discuss logistical issues resulting from the increasing numbers of medical learners and residents that will be working out of our Barrington offices. Various solutions were considered, but no decisions obviously made. On May 12th, I virtually attended the Dalhousie Water Symposium. Our CAO, Chris Broughton, was a panelist at this symposium and contributed meaningfully on the challenges rural coastal residents face due to the combined forces of drought and sea level rise on their private coastal wells. One session specifically dealt with coastal groundwater issues, and in a rather shocking surprise, Shelburne County is the most at-risk county in the entire province for saltwater contaminated wells. So I think as a result, Mr. Frontney may speak to this later on or at some other meeting, had indicated you may be reaching out to Dalhousie to do a groundwater presentation here for us specifically,
Yep.
Which is very important information for residents. On May 13, I virtually attended the Yarmouth and Area Medical Partnership meeting at which physician recruitment updates were provided. On May 20th, I attended the leadership meeting for the 5 Shelburne County units. Once again, diversification of the county's economy was discussed, largely in the context of the inadequate electrical grid capacity that prevents the area from making meaningful progress in attracting new industries or manufacturing. On May 21, I attended the Friends of Back Row Lighthouse meeting to get an update on the status of those repairs. Still waiting. On May 30th, I attended the launch of the opening of the African Nova Scotia Seafaring Project at the Black Loyalist Heritage Center in Birchtown. The exhibit is really lovely, and I encourage people to visit and learn about the historic contributions to our communities of Black Nova Scotian mariners. Lastly, I attended meetings and communicated with constituents regarding issues in the Goose Lake area, speeding Upper Clyde Road, and the Fort Creek Park areas, as well as attended both meetings of the committee of the whole. It was a warm, rich month. Thank you. So at this point, Counselor McKinnon,
I don't know what the dates were, so I'm just gonna go off the cuff. So I did attend the volunteer banquet, and I just want to say, like, that was very well put together by staff. It looked really nice. Hopefully next year we can get some more nominees. There was lots from Clark's Harbor area and not as many from the Barrington area. So hopefully we'll rectify that next year. And I also attended the NSFM Spring Conference, and there was a couple of presentations, particularly around policing and some new things around domestic violence that was very informative. And let me see. Oh, what else have I attended? Oh, a housing meeting. I did attend the Housing Coalition meeting. And it seems as though we are going to get potentially, I mean, the ink is not dried, but a housing support person for Shelburne County. I believe they're going to be housed at the municipality of Shelburne. They're going to hold the funds and do the things, which is really great. They've been advocating for that for a long time. And I attended something else. Oh, well, I went to the Pride event this weekend, which was really great. I really want to thank whoever threw all the baby Jesuses on the lawn. I'm feeling very blessed. So appreciate that. Yeah, that was my month.
very good. All right, thank you very much.
You attend the Dr. Yee meeting?
Oh yeah, the Dr. Yee meeting. Yeah, I did.
All right, Counselor L. Jackal.
Thank you. I did attend the volunteer banquet, and I guess I had to speak a little bit on behalf of the municipality. It wasn't much. I just thank all the volunteers for all the work they do. And as I always said, volunteers, the backbone of this municipality. They always do a lot of work. I did attend the Remo meeting with all the other units in Shelburne County. We hired no person, Jason, regarding do all work between province and us, as a Shelburne County at large, and we are going to start meeting in July. Starting July, we're gonna meet almost every month. We got something new for the whole county, and we're gonna see how it's gonna develop. Make sure it's everything going, because some members on the board or new councillors or new mayor or warden, they're not sure how things go, so they want to make sure, you get the information right firsthand, because some people have different questions. So that's the goal, so that we can see that this one starts right, and then later on we'll address it. We know the end of the year if we want to continue every month, or we're gonna skip like quarterly, or we'll do that later on. So, but it is good. He seemed like he have a lot of knowledge, and he seemed like he's a person in the right position. Hopefully that we're gonna get this remote going in the right direction. And I did attend the Dr. Yee meeting, and it was a good meeting. Just we'll see what's gonna come from it. So hopefully we have a good result in the end. And just getting busy with as everybody knows, soccer season. I'm involved in that. I'm coaching a couple of teams, and one team actually. I supposed to coach two, but I said no. That's too much. 4 days a week, and I don't have the time. 2 days is not 4. So I wish I can do it, but it's going in the right direction too, and hopefully the kids will have fun. So thank you.
Thank you, Counselor L. Jackal. Counselor Nickerson.
I attended the committee of the holes, and I also attended the meeting with Dr. Yee. Those are always interesting because this one was more interesting simply because Cape Breton has opened up their school, and we're going to see more people, more doctors or potential doctors graduate from there. So it creates a problem. It's a help, but it creates a problem because a lot of places such as Barrington don't have enough space to bring those medical students in. So that's what Council Jackal alluded to. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, that will be interesting. I think I think there's some solutions there. So, um, I have been getting a lot of questions on when is the rec center going to be open? So, uh, hopefully we get a little update and there's some good news there because I think there's, and I mean right across the board from young people to probably wanting their kids to go into programs to elderly people that wants to walk the track and a lot of elderly people that's asking about that and what's going on the programming for it. So I'm more enthused now than because it's you can see inside it. People's been in there. I think they've been in the lobby and seen it and is getting a little more excited and knowing that it's going to be a good facility for us to accommodate that stuff. And also been is the roads and stuff is continual hearing about that. And I just bring it up just to keep it in the forefront, right? And I think DOT or TIR is working hard to get these roads paved. I think we'll see something sooner than later. And I'd like obviously this year is probably not in the plans, but let's not count it out for next year or something like that. But I think there is some, I did talk to somebody within the department and I think there is some plans to do a very decent fix, as we're probably going to see in the letter coming forward up around the causeway, because that is a bad spot there. I think that's the worst spot there is. So, yeah, and there was something else like Councillor McKinnon that I was going to say about, and it has slipped my mind, and it was very important because there was an answer I wanted to it. So if I think of it, I would appreciate the opportunity to bring it up, Madam Chair.
No worries at all. All right. Very good. So that wraps up the report of counselors. So we move to the report from the committee of the whole that I was scheduled to read. Okay, so we have a bunch of these grants to organizations. Do we have to vote on each one of these individually, Mr. Croton, or can we take them in the aggregate?
Typically, you do, but you can always make motions however you want. So if you want to just combine them all, you could say kind of the same beginning sentence and just we could list them all.
Okay, is there any?
As long as they're all the same amount, I
They
think.
are.
Yeah. No, they aren't.
No, they
Oh,
aren't.
So not seven.
Yeah, maybe choose.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty then. So here we go. It is recommended to council to provide a grant in the amount of $1,000 to the Goose Lake Road Association.
Oh.
So moved by Councillor Nickerson, seconded by Councillor McKinnon. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. It is recommended to council to provide a grant in the amount of $750 for Hawk Days Committee as requested.
So
So moved by Councillor Nickerson. Is there a second? Seconded by Councillor Al Jackal.
I just have
Yeah.
just a comment on that. These committees are eligible to go on the list. Are they not?
Yes.
So can we send a letter out with the ones that's not on the list, asking them if they wish to go on it?
We usually do let them know now, but it's up to you to add them. So even if they asked, you can add them without them asking, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But if you wanted to wait for them to, I guess, ask. you
Yeah,
can do that too.
I would follow up, but somebody might not. I don't want to add somebody and they not be, like, I think you brought it up before the last meeting. didn't you?
Aware.
They have to apply anyway, every year.
Yes.
So they don't know if they're on the list or not.
Yeah, it was
That's what-
specific to the Hawk Day. Oh,
Yes.
No.
okay. It was specific to the Hawk Days because I didn't want them to go on a list and they apply and not realize they can apply for the events money. It was tied into the events money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so therefore I'll speak to
We can follow
Bethany
up.
there. Yeah.
All right, Councillor Al Jackal.
Just for the clarity, I think we're having this bylaws, the policies coming back.
Mhm.
Yes.
To the council the next couple of days of the whole, I believe.
Yeah.
So we can address all these issues and regarding this, and then we can go from there.
All right, thank you, Councillor Al Jackal.
Question.
Question is called. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. All right. Next, it is recommended to council to provide a grant in the amount of $750 to Old Kirk Cemetery as requested. A motion? Moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Al Jackal. Any comments, questions?
Question.
She's been called. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. It is recommended the council to approve an in-kind grant to Southwest Nova Transition House Association for rental space in the administrative center as requested. I think that's what it would be. Yep. Is there a motion to
No.
Councilor McKinnon? Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Nickerson. Any questions or comments? Councilor
I actually
McKinnon?
have a question.
Yeah.
So are they staying here? Cause I thought they built a little building by the Lions Hall.
Different organization.
So is Nova Transit.
Tradition House.
Yeah, yeah. I
on
know
it.
it's
Yeah, I
Juniper
got it.
House, but that's
Got
their
it.
official name. Yeah.
Yes.
Other comments or questions on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. It is recommended to council to provide Southwest Blast FC with a special events grant in the amount of $2,000 as requested. Moved by Councilor Al Jackal, seconded by Councilor McKinnon. Questions or comments?
Question.
Question is called. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. It is recommended to council to provide Woods Harbor Days with a special events grant in the amount of $2,000 as requested. Moved by Councilor Al Jackal. Seconded by Councilor Nickerson. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. It is recommended to council to review the policy on special events and grants to organizations. Moved by Councilor Al Jackal, seconded by Councilor McKinnon. Questions or comments on this recommendation? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. It is recommended to council to add Old Kirk Cemetery to the list of automatically approved grants for the amount of $750. Moved by Councilor McKinnon, seconded by Councilor Nickerson. Comment. Question is called. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. And lastly, on this list, it is recommended to council to provide a grant in the amount of $500 to Shelburne County Arts Council as requested. Moved by Councilor McKinnon. Seconded by Councilor Nickerson. Comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. Okay, next on here was the letter to Nova Scotia Federation Municipalities regarding groundwater depletion. So we this is where we were going to try to introduce a slightly, I had sent out an email to everybody. So should I read, what should I do with this? Because this is the old language. Back and find the other,
Move to make an
revised.
amendment to- So move to make an amendment to that recommendation
Okay,
with the new wording.
okay,
We do it that way.
okay.
And then once, if that's approved, then you could approve the vote on the amended motion or
Okay.
recommendation.
So I would like to move that we amend the language of this motion to the language that was provided by the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities. I'm gonna have to pull up on my computer that conforms to their, yes.
I'm supposed to have the same motion that moved from the committee and then put on the table and then amend it, because that motion was sent to council.
From the committee, yes.
So we're supposed to move this one, or otherwise we have, either we vote against it or let it go if you
Yes,
want to do
first.
no one.
Yeah,
And then, or
First.
we can amend it so that we make it proper.
yes,
We're
after
supposed
it's,
to move the same motion that we have from the
Yes.
committee. of the-
that's true.
Okay,
Move the vote, the recommendation that was sent up from committee of the whole. And then once that's moved and seconded, you can
Yeah.
amend that
okay.
afterwards.
Let's go back. Hold on here. Okay, so we're just handling this exactly the way that it's here, and then we're gonna,
Yeah, you got
okay.
it, yeah. I was one step ahead.
All right, thank you. All right. It is recommended to council, whereas recent droughts have caused wells to run dry in parts of Nova Scotia, including in rural and coastal communities such as the municipality of Barrington, and ongoing pressure on groundwater is increasing the risk of long-term shortages and saltwater intrusion. Therefore, be it resolved that the committee of the whole recommend that council approve sending a letter to the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities requesting provincial leadership and coordinated action on groundwater depletion, drought-related dry wells, and saltwater intrusion, and that the letter be shared with other municipalities to seek their support.
So you want to amend this, so that motion, so we gotta put that motion on the floor, right?
Yes.
I so move.
Moved by Councillor Nickerson. Seconded by Councillor McKinnon.
Now you want to amend
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make the motion.
Okay,
Amend.
yes, I'd like to amend the language of this motion, if I may, to language that more precisely conforms to what the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities would like to see in order for them to follow through with their stated policy on how they deal with formal requests like this. So I can read the amended language here. You'll see it's basically the same thing. Be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of the District of Barrington requests the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities Board of Directors to consider groundwater depletion and saltwater intrusion in rural coastal communities an advocacy priority for NSFM. Be it further resolved that this council believes this issue would be best reviewed by an ad hoc committee tasked specifically with matters related to groundwater depletion, saltwater intrusion, drought impacts, aquifer protection, and long-term water sustainability in Nova Scotia communities. So what it basically does is asks not just NSFM in general, it asks the board of directors to appoint an ad hoc committee to study the problem, which is what they requested we ask them to do in order to take action. Councilor Nickerson?
So that is an amended motion, right?
Yeah, so what happens now?
So you made the amendment to it,
So
right?
we have somebody to move it, somebody.
Yeah, second it.
And the only change in that is the only change in that is how we ask them to deal with it.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
else is, so the base of the motion is the same. So
Yeah.
I move the amendment to that motion.
Thank you, Councilor Nickerson. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor McKinnon. Further questions or concerns? Comments? Question, wonderful. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. Wonderful, thank you. All right, moving on here on this, the whole report. We have the Barrington Municipal High School graduation bursary. It is recommended to council to award Seamus Gorham the municipal bursary in the amount of $2,000. Moved by Councilor Nickerson. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor McKinnon. Questions, comments? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Congratulations to Mr. Gorham. And lastly, grants to organizations, Centerville Northeast Point Community Hall. It is recommended the council to provide the Centerville Northeast Point Community Hall with a grant in the amount of $750. Moved by Councilor Nickerson. For a second. Second by Councilor
I
Al
don't want to
Jackal.
hog all the seconds.
Comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? So voted. All right. We're down to the staff report. Turn it over to CAO Broughton.
Thank you very much. So I'll start with the much of interest project, which is the recreation center, because we've also been fielding a lot of questions, and there is a lot of interest, certainly as people start to be able to walk in there and see what's there. So over the last few weeks since the last report, line painting in the multipurpose room and the walking tracks was done. The skate sharpening room, so all of the renovations in the lobby and the new skate sharpening area and office there are done, and staff have practically all moved in. So all of the people and the equipment from the old rec center and the sheds and all the different spaces we had staff have all moved into their spaces. So that was done. Unfortunately, we encountered two issues that impact full occupancy. So we did start with what we're calling controlled usage and sort of testing. So there have been groups and people in there using some of the spaces that were usable, sort of just to kind of see how it was working. Are light switches and temperatures appropriate? How is the registration process? How is the flow? All of those little things. So instead of having 200 people walking all at once, you just starting with smaller groups. But until we can sort of open the doors fully and let everyone in the masses enter, we have to have full occupancy. And we encountered two issues with that. First, the mechanical room for the elevator needed to be ventilated differently than what was done. And that was due to the elevator inspection. So there's a provincial inspector for elevators. They come down. Obviously, they don't work or live next door, so they don't come every day, or it takes a little while to wait for them to come. They come, they do an inspection, and there's deficiencies. Well, one of them is the ventilation. So they had to kind of redesign or design a different ventilation system for that room. And now that it's almost fully built, it doesn't just happen right away. You sort of have to move other things around. So they've done that, and I don't think they're fully complete, but they are practically there. It took a little bit of time to figure out what to move around and what they could maybe connect into that was already there, but that's being taken care of. The second is the existing fire pump. So the arena had a sprinkler system in it. It had a fire pump in it that if it were to come on, it would take the water from the pool and put into the system. Well, that pump was there since the arena was built, so it's 32 years old. There's no main issue with it, but one of the speed sensors, or the speed sensor in the fire pump, was faulty. So it wasn't registering when the pump was on. So it kept telling the starter to start the pump, even though it was already on. So it had burnt out a flywheel already, which we repaired, which we thought was the issue. But by the time we found the proper contractor that knew how to work on these Clark pumps, and they found the part, which is in Ontario, thankfully, not in the United States or elsewhere in the world, they were able to decipher that it's the speed sensor that we need to replace in the existing fire pump so that we don't get a fault when it goes into test mode every Monday, because it tests once a week. And until that fault goes away, the life safety system verification can't get approved, and you need the life safety verification to be able to get this S1001 verification, which then goes to occupancy. So there's always domino effects to these, and until you get inspections, some of it you can figure out in advance, some you can't, and some of it is just waiting for contractors or them to come down from the city or for them to find the parts and then schedule the repair and all of that. But the issue has been found, the parts have been ordered, the repair itself of the speed sensor can happen once those parts arrive, and they're coming from Ontario, so it shouldn't be too long. So we were ready to announce the opening, grand opening towards the middle or end of May until we'd encountered those. But we're very close to being able to do so. We do have a tentative date that we still think we can reach, but we're going to wait until we know for sure when that speed center can come in before doing that. Because the last thing we want to do is have to reschedule an announced opening date. We'd rather not announce a no grand opening and then maybe delay that a little bit. But that's where we are with that. Everything else is in order and ready. Final cleaning, I think, was scheduled for tomorrow or Thursday, like the final cleaning of the entire building. So that's where we are with the recreation center project. In other kind of work for over the last month, obviously the recreation and tourism departments are ramping up. We're getting close to the summer season, so whether it's events or registration for camps or activities, that's all happening. Summer student positions have been filled, or they've started to come and start working as well. Lobster Fest started today and goes until the 7th. So there's a gamut of activities and events for that. And so that's really exciting, a lot of fun. All the info on our camp registrations, like recreation programs and that, are on our website, and those registration is open. Marathon planning is well underway, so that's towards the third week of July, third Sunday of July. And we're actually at 600 registrants this year, which is 130 more than we were at this time last year. So that is pretty much our limit, but we have started to be able to kind of take more. So there's some thoughts there. Some thought is going to have to be put into how big it can actually get and what our capacity is, not only, organizationally, but like community wise. I mean, you can't have 5,000 people in Barrington Passage. I mean, you could, I guess, but just logistically, you get into a different league there, a different ball game than where we're at now. But we're approaching that. It's every year we go over we go over the amount of registrants that we had the previous year. So it's really it's a popular marathon because it's a Boston qualifier, and it tends to be obviously scenic, but also flatter than some. So we're sort of using that as promotional efforts, but also there's different categories. So we have the variety of distances that you can run, and that tends to attract different runners, different types of runners. So that's planning is well underway for that. You'll see in my report that I include the 2020, the previous fiscal years and the current fiscal year's capital project update, just quick status. The reason I do that is because we're sort of in transition month, like the budget just got approved at the end of April. So for the first couple of months in the new fiscal year, especially if there are outstanding capital projects, I always keep track of them for a few months until they're done. But those, like the Recreation Center project, the Community Health Center, or the Brass Hill treatment plant upgrades, those will likely be there for the full fiscal year. And I would say, other than the other updates on our development office and our fire services coordinator, those are the main highlights.
Good. Councilor Nickerson.
So a question on the marathon. I thought of the last one I was going to ask, and now I forgot the marathon one. Just
registering.
Well, I'm not the only
read.
one.
Yeah, it was. It's yeah, registering. Yeah. So do you turn? So you got 600 people
registered so far. Yeah.
So who takes preference? The full marathoners, the half marathoners? Like, how do you? And I'm just thinking of how do you? I've always said this for the last 15 years. I'd like to see us hit 1,000 people. I think you can't quite easily, right?
We likely could. So we divide it in buckets by the same amount. So that tends to spread out the runners a little bit, because if you had 600 10K runners, it would be really packed in that 10K distance, right? So having them spread out evenly, 150 in each of the 5 or 4 categories, it tends to spread them out. However, I don't know what the maximum is that they set for per category. It was usually roughly around 150, but I think they've extended that a little bit.
So why do we think we can't take 1,000? What would be the reasons? I guess.
Well, 1,000, I mean, could be real could be doable logistically. If you're getting higher than that, you're dealing with like road closure. It's an open
I
road
understand
course,
that,
right?
yeah.
So then you're starting to get into, well, accommodations number one, and just, you know, the traffic and then traffic control and all of that. Once you get higher up in numbers, and safety becomes an issue, then you got to, yeah, logistically just control that a bit more. So it would be a bigger undertaking. We'd have to rethink a little bit how we organize it, and even just the amenities for the runners. I mean, we feed the, you know, the runners, the participants. You know, there's the start and finish line are only so big. So just thoughts like that. I mean, is it doable? I think it would be with planning. It would just have to be rethought a little bit, just because it would be a lot more people. But it's grown a lot since just in the last 8 years that I've been here. Yeah, it's grown quite a bit.
Be interesting. First marathon run at night.
A nighttime run would be interesting. I've never done one of those, or seen those, but
You do the night owl at
They
Point Pleasant
do?
Park.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
They do the night owl, but it's only a 5K.
Yeah.
So.
anyway, so that's a little bit of background. But I mean, we're not saying that it's not achievable. It's just, you know, you'd have to rethink a little bit.
It'd be nice to see it grow some.
Oh, for sure.
Not.
So is it closed now then?
No,
Oh,
still
no.
open.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the increase at this, over the registrations at this time last year, what do you think the final number will be then?
Well, it's hard to tell. So last year we were at 471. I think I looked in my report from May of 2025, and we ended up with I think it was roughly 600. So we're probably looking at another. So, I mean, it's always hard to tell because maybe everybody registered early this year, but
Yeah.
I would say another 50 to 100 registrants. Yeah. And there are children runs as well, youth runs. I forget what the distances are, 750 and 1.5, I think, maybe. And those are still open as well. Yeah. All done through, well, they call it Race Roster, which is very common or popular running registration software. So it, like all of the runs in Nova Scotia, are pretty much on that system. So that's how we manage the registrations. Yep.
Other questions or comments on the staff report?
Nothing on the staff report, but I did think of that.
Remember your
Yes, I
question?
did.
Oh, good.
So this is probably not well, I know it's in Amy. Yeah, it would be a split. I don't know, between Amy, Councilor McKinnon's and Councilor Hatfield's district that has been brought to my attention. But it's in a lot of areas, and I'm sure you guys, when I say it, you guys are gonna say, yep, I know. And it's the phone lines, the cable lines and stuff that's hanging, especially on the causeway. They're really drooping in it. I've seen it up through Shag Harbor. It's going through Nilton, some places. And a resident brought it to my attention, especially on the causeway and stuff. And I know it's only internet and stuff like that, but we complain about our phones don't work. When our internet doesn't work, it even makes it worse. So I just want to make that point. I don't know if it would be what's that?
Who didn't go to it?
Oh, I would say
Or Bell.
MT&T, Bell, Eastlink in those places. And I don't know if it would be the ambition of council to maybe address something like that. It looked to me, I didn't really notice it until the constituent told me about it. And then now I drive around looking at them and they're hanging, and it does look, when you drive across the causeway the next time, take a peek and tell me it doesn't look terrible. So it's maybe, I don't know if it could just be addressed by staff or something, or if it needs a motion or what.
Actually,
Yeah,
talking
well,
about this, I think on the sidewalk in Woods Harbor, right across from my house. Actually, one wire was way low, and someone rolled it up and tied with a twist tie. And the last time when snow time was coming, when they were plowing the snow, one the workers was hitting he didn't want to get hooked on the machine, so he was trying to move it, and he was still. I think he took a picture of it. I don't know if he sent it to anyone and he was kind of a little frustrated with it. It just, and yeah, I could, yeah, you're right. I see those. Yeah.
I don't know if you don't mind me making a motion, I'd just like to address it like I'd move to have staff address it with whomever, whether it's Eastlink, Bell, MT&T, and right, and maybe, and I'm sure they're gonna do something sometime, but it's,
This motion.
It-
This motion.
yeah, I'm gonna make motions.
Let's put a second on that.
All right. Motion's made by Counselor Nickerson and seconded by Counselor L. Jackal. Further discussion on this?
Question.
Question is called. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted.
Thank
It's
you, Matt.
okay if I just put this in new business, since that's next anyway, right?
Right. Very good. I'm glad that you remembered that. So you won't wake up at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
All right. In new or other business, second reading of the Remo bylaw. Oh, that's right. This is the 28-page document. How do we're not reading all this clearly, so how do we
Yeah.
handle this?
This would just be providing second reading of the bylaw,
Okay.
yeah.
we don't need no motions for it.
This one, you
Yeah,
do, yeah.
you do.
Yeah. So you would have, yeah, you would have had first reading last council meeting, then we advertised that you were having a second reading.
Okay.
And then, usually sometimes there's feedback from the community or comments, written or in person. And then after all of that, you can do the second reading, which would actually adopt the bylaw.
All right. So this is the second reading of this.
Move.
So moved by Counselor Nickerson. Is there a second? Counselor McKinnon. Questions or comments on the second reading of the Remo bylaw?
Question.
Thank you. Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So voted. All right. Moving on to correspondence, letter of support for Annie Ganesh Coalition to End Poverty. So this is a letter to Premier Houston from the Annie Ganesh Coalition to End Poverty. Are we expected to, is this just for our edification? Or are we expected to take some sort of action on this?
Most correspondences are always, if they're directed to council from like another municipality or government department or minister, and it's for information, but at times you refer it to committee of the whole if you wanted to discuss it further.
Okay.
It's up to you.
All right, so is there any action to be taken on this letter from Annie Ganesh? Seeing none, I guess we can just move on. Yep, excellent. All right, this is quite expeditious. All right, we have a reply from the Nova Scotia Public Works on Warden Hatfield's letter regarding the condition of the roads on Highway 3. So I think this feels a little bit like what you were referring to, Counselor Nickerson, around their enhanced, more robust repairs.
Yeah, I think that's what they said there,
Yeah.
somewhere there, the section 3 means top floor. Well, the throughway through from exit 29 through, I think, more so from the ATV repair shop up here through to Barrington. I think the regional director, is that Pamela's position, Pamela Maylands?
Area manager.
Area man, yeah. She stated that before that. So, but in there somewhere, recognize that this can have impact and just for and then from there, so the area has also been identified as high priority and advanced pothole patching and utilizing special equipment intended to address recurring defects. So, and I think that special equipment, I think that's milling equipment that they go and take a piece up where there's nasty holes and stuff. So, yeah, I think if we're not going to get it paved right away, I think this is the next best step to addressing it and getting some of maybe it gets us through next winter and we see some asphalt next in the next fiscal year.
Okay, so it sounds like nothing's going to happen anytime soon, though. Based on this letter, it just sort of says, yeah, we know you have a problem, but Oh, and, yeah. That's really disappointing. Okay. Other comments or questions here? That patch of road is terrible. And one down by, exit 29 too, right? Turning the corner by the ATV repair place.
Yeah, that
Exit
is,
30, I think,
yeah.
yeah. That's broken up as well. All right. Any of the other comments or questions regarding this correspondence?
That's Councilor McKinnon when she turns in there to go home. She's.
Yeah, spinning it up. Yeah.
Taking it all up.
Well, at Jacob's truck tonight. I was done.
Right.
Yeah.
He's gonna ride right through those
Yeah.
potholes then. Or hide carriage.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have lastly, Nova Scotia Emergency Management Update. This is, okay, this did not seem to really apply to us because we are so squared away, is basically what I understand.
Correct. So all the standards or regulations that are putting in place for the changes to fire services in the province, we would already meet those requirements. So they're forewarning municipalities in advance because there could be some financial implications to it. But in our case, we're already meeting those requirements, so there won't be substantial implications to us, if any.
Good. Any comments or questions otherwise on this piece of correspondence? All right, and I think that brings us to number 8, an adjournment. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. We made it.